Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Sayyid Abdullah Nazir. Today, the topic of my presentation is Li-Fi. In this presentation, I will try to discuss basic aspects of Li-Fi, its benefits and its uses, and how does it works. Also, I will try to discuss difference between Li-Fi and Wi-Fi. Li-Fi is basically a new technology, so let's start our topic. What is Li-Fi? Li-Fi is a high-speed optical wireless technology that uses visible light to transmit data. The term Li-Fi was coined by German scientist Professor Hertz in 2011. This bidirectional technology provides us a high efficiency and a more secure mode of communication than radio technology such as Wi-Fi or a cellular. Wi-Fi and Li-Fi both are two different technologies which are used to send and receive data wirelessly. In case of Wi-Fi, we use routers and radio technologies, waves to transmit data, whereas in Li-Fi, we use LED bulbs and light signal to transmit and receive data. How does it works? How does Li-Fi works? A big question mark. Li-Fi makes use of visible light through overhead lighting for the transmission of data. This is possible through the use of visible light communication system for data transmission. A VLC system has two qualifying components. Number one, at least one device containing a photodiode in order to receive light signals, and another, a light source equipment if a signal processing unit for the transmission of signals. The VLC light source can be in a form of fluorescence bulbs or a light emitting diode. LED light bulbs are the most optimum VLC light source. However, since a robust Li-Fi system required extremely high rates of light output, fluorescence bulbs emit light in a much wider band of wavelengths, which make it a relatively less efficient source than LED. LED, on the other hand, is a light source that emits light in a very narrow band of wavelength, making it a more efficient light source. LED is also a semiconductor which amplifies that it can amplify light intensity and switch rapidly. So this is all about Li-Fi, that how does Li-Fi works. A big question arises in our mind. A question arises, a big question mark arises in our mind. Does Li-Fi stand to eliminate Wi-Fi? This is a question. I will discuss this question with the following points. इन पॉइंट्स में हमारे साथ ये भी क्लियर हो जाएगा कि Li-Fi के एडवांटेजेस क्या हैं, डिसएडवांटेजेस क्या है, सिक्योरिटीज़ की क्या है, एप्लीकेशंस क्या है, रेट स्पीड हमारे पास क्या है, ट्रांसफर ऑफ रेट स्पीड, डिफरेंट थिंग्स विल बी क्लियर इंशाल्लाह इन दिस पॉइंट्स इंशाल्लाह. कौन सी चीज़ ज़्यादा, किस चीज़ की प्राइवेसी ज़्यादा, वाईफाई की या Li-Fi की, it will be clear inshallah in these points. So number one point, data transmission speed. Test conducted by Pure Li-Fi, a company started by Li-Fi 1 year. Professor Roland over a controlled environment relieved Li-Fi to produce speed of over 100 Gbps. Some tests even revealed that it can deliver data for up to 224 Gbps. These speeds are clearly miles ahead of those produced by Wi-Fi, which currently sits at a maximum of 100 Mbps. This is due to the fact that the visible light spectrum is 1000 times larger than the radio waves spectrum, which is only about 300 gigahertz. Another point, number two, energy efficiency. In Wi-Fi, the transmission of data required having two ratios for the transmission of radio waves. These ratios communication with each other continuously through radio frequency transmitter installed within the ratio and a broadcast chip, which take up a lot of energy just to discard data signals from the noise from several other devices use the same ratio frequency. Number third point. Number third point is security. The limited coverage of Li-Fi can also be seen as a good thing since it increases network security. Again, because Li-Fi signals cannot pass through walls, because of this is light is a transfer waves. Interferences from outside force is limited. This also makes it ideal for use in sensitive areas where remote privacy and hacking is prevalent. As such, it is suitable for use for areas involved in research and development, finance, defense, and even mass transport. Number four point is data density. And the last one of the biggest limitation of Wi-Fi is its ability in area with high congestions. The transfer of data within areas with a high volume of user tend to be slower than area with lower volumes of users. On the other hand, Li-Fi is not subject to same limitation and it fact work within very dense environment, especially in areas where many light bulbs are present. Li-Fi can still produce high speeds as each VLC visible light communication. Light source can deliver the same speed even with multiple users. So this is all about the question that arises in our mind. That is, does Li-Fi stand to eliminate Wi-Fi? In these point, different things are clear. Like advantage is security, privacy, disadvantages, and different things, speeds, different things are clear. So let's move forward. As I discussed earlier in start of my presentation, that I will be compare or I will be differentiate. I will try a difference between the difference between Wi-Fi and Li-Fi. So let's go. What is difference between Wi-Fi and Li-Fi? Li-Fi light fidelity, Wi-Fi wireless fidelity. Speed for data transfer. So in Li-Fi, the rate the transfer rate is high. It is about 1 Gbps, and in Wi-Fi it is about 150 Mbps. So this is a big gap. So the Li-Fi speed is much higher than Wi-Fi. Li-Fi used light as a carrier medium through which data transfer occurs, whereas Wi-Fi use radio spectrum. Spectrum range, important point. Visible light spectrum has 10,000 times broad spectrum in comparison to ratio frequency, whereas in Wi-Fi ratio frequency spectrum range is less than visible light spectrum. Cost, cheaper than Wi-Fi because free band does not need license and its use light is an important point. Expensive in a comparison to Li-Fi because it use ratio spectrum. Wi-Fi use basically ratio spectrum इस्तेमाल करती है ना इस चीज़ को. Network topology, point to point, point to point. This is the same between Li-Fi or Wi-Fi. This is a same point. Operating frequency. This is a 6 number point. Operating frequency of Li-Fi is hundreds of terahertz, and Wi-Fi is about 2.5 gigahertz. I think so. So this is the difference between Wi-Fi and Li-Fi. So this is all about Li-Fi. Conclusion: when looking at the comparison between Wi-Fi and Li-Fi, it would be very difficult to choose one over the other, as both have their own merits and their own disadvantages. That is why a different mindset needs to be adopted and look at these pieces of technology in a different ways. A big misconception about Li-Fi system is that it was created to replace Wi-Fi altogether. So this is all about Li-Fi. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you for watching this video. This is all about my presentation. All about Wi-Fi. Sorry, Li-Fi. Thank you.